It's time to grout. For grout, I decided to go with an epoxy grout for its durability and stain resistance. Started by applying the grout with a grout float, but honestly, I found that so difficult and to be a giant pain in the butt, so I decided to go in with my hands. I just took some globs of the epoxy grout on my hands and just smushed it into the grout joint. I really liked putting it on my palm and working it in kind of at an angle, similar to a grout float. Honestly, it's just your hands working it in to each and every joint, making sure it's really in there. This method went a lot faster, so I stuck with it. Epoxy grout can be a lot harder to clean, but I honestly just kind of found it easier to use as a whole. You know, epoxy grout is ready to clean when you can touch the grout joints and it doesn't come off on your finger. And when cleaning epoxy grout, you can use as much water as you want and it's not going to pull it out of the joint, which I found much easier than regular grout. For cleaning, I started with a texture green sponge that I would get soaked in water and get off as much epoxy as possible. I then went in with a white scrubby pad to scrub off the rest of the epoxy. I then finished off with a yellow sponge to pick up the rest of that epoxy grout haze. I also took the sponge over all the grout joints to make sure they were all even, because you can do that with epoxy grout. I then finished the cleaning process by wiping the walls with a microfiber towel to pick up any extra water. And then about an hour later, I did one final wipe with some Windex and vinegar. I worked in sections to work with the dry times of the grout, grouting and then cleaning, grouting and then cleaning. So I rinsed and repeated this process of grouting and cleaning until all the walls were done. For grouting the floor, I used the grout float because that was easiest. All in all, I was really impressed with the epoxy grout and would 100% use it again. It is a little harder to clean and kind of can be a pain in the butt, but honestly, the fact that you're not pulling the grout out of the grout joints when cleaning is a huge win for me, especially with this many grout joints. I am in love with how this looks. I cannot get over it. And with that, we are officially done with everything tiling. We are done tiling, we are done caulking, and we are done grouting. What's next?